for is the bot lane, because this is a bit more standard. I think Ogmush is going to have to play very carefully. Like we said, we saw the Sivir lose in the last series because Fufam did not have the space able to buy enough space for their AD carry to get the ricochets and the boomerang blades out. So can Forge Whale Riders keep the distance and keep the Sivir safe enough, as we see, a very strong dive, and Breadwater's, bombs can land from a very far distance that keeps the Sivir out as well. If you drop that explosive minefield, the spell shield only blocks a couple, right, and it still slows you throughout the entire process.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely not a great space to be, but like you got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, that being said, we're getting into the game. Looks like we have no cheesy invades from either side, which is unfortunate because I love a volatile level 1. We're gonna have cleanse on the misfortune, which I think makes a lot of sense in the face of the Leona, and to an extent the LeBlanc, and exhaust on the Amumu, which also makes sense considering LeBlanc and maybe more importantly, Nefiri.
Right, right. Yeah, so we're going to have a pretty standard start. I really like the LeBlanc into the Ziggs matchup because it is a very powerful kind of lane. Ziggs, if you use the Sapphire Charge to knock away the LeBlanc, she can always jump back at you with the Mimic Distortion, and there's just not a lot you can do about it. But Breadwater's doing a very decent job trading back early. Oh, we see
Yeah,
the
for
bandit
sure.
toss just whiffed there. Tight is looking aggressive for the level 1, actually. He knows that he is
He
strong.
knows.
Hits the
Yeah.
bandit toss, has the aftershock proc, barely takes any damage, and a nice double up from the Misfortune chunks out Ogmush. So I think it's a pretty even trade, but Tight is trying to get pushed in this lane as Oso hits the shield into the spin. I don't know all the ability names because Ambessa has a
There it
lot,
is.
but level 2 advantage. Tight goes in with the bandage toss, gets something, but it's not a lot as Frokai was not in position.
Yeah, and another thing, just like in a more specific sense, like we know how much Forge Whale Riders like to play around their bot lane, and like taking a high pressure bot lane such as a Moo Misfortune is a good way to try and counter the resources that that they have wanted to send here historically. And it's also one of those lanes where you can't really ever get out of line. It's really easy to farm into Misfortune Amumu, but it's really hard to fight Misfortune Amumu.
Yeah, Misfortune, very strong early game champion, right? With the Love Tap passive, does so much early damage just from auto attacks and switching targets. So we're going to see actually Ogmush and Atomic Waldo get early game push with the Sivir Ricochet. But in the top lane, we're going to see just kind of the same, but for the opposite, Oso pushing up this Malphite early. I think this Ambessa has the potential to be very, very dangerous because there is not a lot of hard CC that can keep her down.
Oh, for sure. We're also seeing the LeBlanc get kind of poked out, which is kind of what we expect from this character nowadays. She tends to get a little bit harassed out, but she's just got so much pressure when she does finally decide to go in that it can get really bad really quick for the Zig. You only need 1 or 2 trades on LeBlanc to turn it into a full kill. The level advantage on the Malphite is looking pretty huge here, though.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising that the Madman has priority on the Malphite. You think that they lose. Oh, a nice spell shield blocks the crit double up. So, yeah, somehow the Madman has prio in the top lane. So maybe the Ambessa just needs a little bit more time to buy items and level up. I think as the game goes on, though, the Malphite matchup gets worse and worse for the Malphite. As public execution, the more levels you put into it, the more pure armor pen you get, up to 30% at rank 3.
Sure, but like that first level, like the armor pen, I don't think is significant enough to break like one item. Eclipse is so hard to build into Malphite on almost any character, just conceptually, because Malphite has so much armor. Oh my god,
And Toss actually hits Atomic Wall,
curving
trying
the
to get the
bullets.
stun back, but Ogmush is not
Gotta
afraid. Firing back with the Ricochet gets actually a pretty good chunk on the Frog guy back. So I think while High Alert is very aggressive, they're actually winning on these trades.
Yeah, actually, like the spell shield on the Sivir blocking the E there, really important. Really negating a lot of damage there. Ultimately creating a positive trade despite the Amumu landing the bandage toss.
Yeah, Bandage Toss does, send you closer in, but if the Ogmush does use his spell shield at the right time, it means he takes no damage and doesn't get stunned, so he just fires back on you freely. I think John and Breadwater both TP'd back to lane. Or sorry, they're both maybe walks back lane. I'm not sure how they're so high HP. That's kind of strange. But we see Frog Guy and Taich actually getting some of this push, but it's an easy clear back out.
Okay, and John looking to try and get some of this damage onto Ziggs, but it is difficult to do the combos when your opponent is not in melee range, especially at this point in the game, where you don't have the ability to W the backline and one-tap all those minions. It'll get a lot easier when they hit about level 7 and level 9. It's between level 7 and 9, when W starts to where you can single auto the backline and still
Force one for the gank. John has to use the ulti to jump out. This Mega Inferno Bomb chunks John to very low HP, but he does manage to survive, as it was not the sweet spot. But it does mean the jungler for High Alert showed themselves, as we see Ryan Base God looking for something aggressive in the bot lane. Zenith Blade misses, meaning the Taich is safe for now.
Yep, Taich is still positioning really aggressively, creating a lot of space for his Misfortune to farm, but Sivir's been able to find a little bit of advantage just with the amount of wave clear she has. But it looks like they're going to try and use Taich leading lane to get enough power to switch over to this drag faster than High Alert can find the time.
Yeah, it's going to be an uncontested dragon here as Ryan Base God secures this with the help of his team. That is an early Infernal Drink for the side of Forge Whale Riders, which might be a big deal if this game goes for long. Yeah, not much else on the map. It's a pretty chill game, which you don't expect out of a LeBlanc Neferi. You'd expect a lot more aggression from both sides.
And frankly, I don't think it's what you want either. Like, if I'm LeBlanc Neferi, I want to be looking for skirmishes and kills. Don't get me wrong, getting Dragon for free, totally cool. Absolutely satisfied. But, I am trying to create chaos if I'm picking these characters. If I can get every objective for free, totally fine. But I did not pick these characters because I think I'm getting every objective for free. I picked these characters because I thought it was fighting over every single objective, and I wanted to fight.
Exactly. So we're going to have to see who is going to be the team that benefits most from the scaling. If you're asking me, I think Ziggs is a lot better late game, but so is the Sivir compared to Misfortune. So it's going to be super interesting as Taich coming for a gank in the top lane. The Madman gets chunked out by Oso using all the abilities. The Bandage Toss is going to land, but the Unstoppable Force, yeah, beautiful buffer out of the Bandage Toss. So it is the ulti used for this Malphite, meaning he cannot trade back or take the fights. So Taich did a great job, using his timer on the support roam to get that ulti out, and it means likely that High Alert are going to secure these grubs.
And while it's an excellent ulti to get out of that from Madman, it is a really, really well-timed roam for Taich to be able to find the priorities and needed to get these grubs. Leona was just a little bit late on her timers, so she's not even going to be able to find a gank off of her roam, which is an unfortunate spot to be in if you're going to be Forge Whale Riders. Especially considering you don't really want to be even when it comes to map prio when you're playing, again, double assassin, right?
Yeah. Double assassin, you want to be, making chaos on the map, taking these early skirmishes, taking fights when you're strong before you get outscaled. I think Neferi, after a lot of the changes, is a lot worse in the late game. Not that he's, bad or by any means, but it is a very high skill ceiling champion now, and I think it's very hard against a team that is has so much wombo combo to find the right angles, especially since Neferi usually just has to dive straight in with the ulti.
Yeah, for sure. Sorry, watching the LeBlanc just not be able to touch the Ziggs because of how much spacing he's trying to put down it's hard, man. I like seeing LeBlanc be able to pop off and do the cool stuff. It's like almost any competitive League of Legends format, it's significantly harder to play the high skill damage assassins, because position's so much more volatile. People can be anywhere once unless you have actual vision. They can always be coordinating with their teammates, and people are good, man. Breadwater has excellent peak. He's dodging a lot of these LeBlanc WE tries, and he's just been able to farm it out. He's already 13 CS up, which is honestly kind of impressive for LeBlanc considering how hard of a time that character can have CS sometimes. But as this game goes on, unless LeBlanc finds picks and kills, it's just going to get further and further into the Ziggs' favor.
Yeah, Ziggs slowly scaling up, and they do have the sorry, the Void Grubs, which means that the bomb, the satchel charge from Breadwater Ziggs will have even more of an effect if he chooses to go for the siege. We're seeing that the Madman actually posturing very aggressively. I think Oso knows that he cannot win these early team fights against, or sorry, these early 1v1s against the Malphite until he scales and gets some items. So we're gonna have to see. Oh, he's going for a trade, but we're gonna have to see. I think most of the focus of this game is gonna be around ball.
Oh, that was a good spot to try and find something.
Oh, puts that money into the bullet time. Doesn't hit both,
that
but
bullet
Atomic
time
Wall though
doesn't do
still flashes out.
anything.
Hawkmosh actually walked back into the bullet time though, so it was actually a pretty great chunk out of the bot lane.
Straight spaghetti from everybody involved on that one. That was a mess.
Yeah, but I mean, that mess actually gets prio for the bot lane, as Frog Guy and Taich are likely going to be able to get one plate here. So a good use of the ultis, I guess, and a small gold lead for the side of High Alert, as Miss Fortune does have a little bit more gold in her pocket.
Alright, so let's kind of get an assessment of the game state, right? We've got a lot of gold. Actually, surprisingly, High Alert is just up gold, just off farming, right? They do have advantage lanes, so we kind of expect this, but the junglers haven't been able to reciprocate any of the advantage that High Alert has gained from just catching all these waves and find anything to do with their prio. At least from Forge Rail Rider's side. I haven't really seen the play on the map at all.
Oh, go lock some under, gets the flash, but it's not enough. He still gets killed. The Madman flashes out and dies to the heated up turret shot. A nice Mega Inferno Bomb means the trade kill is there, but it means Forge Whale Riders have the kind of confidence to go after the second dragon in only 12 minutes. I don't think it's going to be contested, and Oso's just going to go for plates as the second dragon goes over to Forge Whale Riders.
This is an excellent spot for Mbessa to find a lot of damage on these turrets, though, and really look to create an advantage in top lane that you can leverage.
Strong against undone. The Hound's Pursuit, but a nice move brings him out of it. A beautiful ulti from the jungler of Tyler as he used the Hound's escape. Oso actually TP's in after that, so it's a wasted TP, but a beautiful counter gank from Less Force, canceling the ultimate from the Nefiri. The Hound's Pursuit was chunked out. Just a crazy micro play from that.
I forgot how cracked Less Force was. This guy's kind of nice with it.
He's kind of nice with it. Interesting thing I want to bring up, though, is actually his build is kind of questionable, as he's going for the Leandri's first item. I don't think I've seen Diana build that in a very long time.
I won't question it, only because I am unfamiliar with Diana builds in general, and also lack a general understanding of how the champion, not works per se, but like, I don't know, AP Bruiser builds are so weird, right? Like AP Bruiser Assassin builds, like your Silas builds, your Diana builds, your Gwen builds. I don't understand any of them. They don't make any sense to me.
Fair enough. I think most champions that play, or sorry, most players that play Diana opt to go for a very high burst build, something like the Storm Surge or the Lich Bane. But I see why you'd want to go for the Leandri's to kind of get more damage onto the Malphite and Leona. But I'm not sure if they need more.
Is that who he's going for? Like,
yeah, I don't know if that's who he's going for. So it's a questionable play nonetheless.
Or it could be the super innovative Bruiser Diana build that we've never seen before, right? Like,
yeah, that could be it.
Yeah. But also, like, there is something to be said, like, just for the past 2 years or so. Haunting guys, or Leandri's and Haunting guys have just been broken. Like,
yeah, they've been very powerful. Oh, flash
really
bandage pop gets the flash out of John to answer. So 2 flashes down, but that means the LeBlanc is not going to have those angles, and Tyche still has the Hex Splash on this Amumu, so ideally he's going to use that to get the angle out. A nice roam timer by him. I think Tyche is doing their damn best to get his team ahead as Breadwater, a nice natural charge over the Silver Flare. The man comes back in again. Curse of the Sad Mummy into the Mega Inferno Bomb. Less Force is here now too, as Ryan Basecott is here to back up his team. The clone is taken low, but John limps out barely. The smoke and mirrors is enough to keep him alive for now. It is a volatile fight in the mid game, but nobody goes down.
Less Force and Tyke have been on timing this entire game, though. Just in the right place at the right time. And this is one of the reasons why I suck at the game. I never understand how people can be so attentive and so well positioned every freaking time. Because these guys show up anytime it matters. It's so sick.
Yeah, they know kind of how to play the macro perfectly to be on that right timing. I think Fight is doing such a great job, making things happen for his team while his AD carries just, in a farm fest. I don't think anything's going to happen there. Oso is trading heavily in the top side, but it means the Rift Herald's going to be uncontested take from Forge Whale Riders. I think this means that's the third neutral objective in a row, and that means they're going to get oh, actually, it's not Feats of Strength yet because they haven't got the first kill or the first turret. So it's going to be, or sorry, not the first turret or 3 kills. So it's going to be Feats of Strength still on the table for both teams, but that's going to be just complete neutral objective domination from Forge Whale Rider. As Less Force jumps onto John. John has to mimic out with the distortion. Frog Guy's pushing into Ogmush. I think High Alert is just feeling some confidence after, they survived this early game.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely something to be said for High Alert getting through it.
Public execution again.
Public execution is going to be huge. We're going to get the dive onto Madman. He's not going to have enough. Yeah.
He got it. Yeah, Oso jumps in with the Sundering Strike into the slam, and Less Force had just enough damage to keep him low, so Oso gets the kill there. The ultimate is not enough to keep this Malphite alive, so that's going to be the first turret, though, taken from the Rift Herald. So Feats of Strength go over to Forge Whale Riders, and a kill goes over to Oso.
Wild to see a game where Feats of Strength is not predicated on kills at all whatsoever.
That is something I didn't expect.
I never expect that. I frankly haven't seen it happen. Like,
yeah, it's a pretty slow and controlled game, maybe because it's the game 3. Both teams don't want to take a ton of risk, but I think Forge Whale Riders are the team that want to take more risk with these double assassin comps.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I do think there's something to be said for playing proactive, but sometimes you just believe that you're better at team fighting, and if both teams believe they're better at team fighting, why would you take a risk on either one,
And now it's going to be posturing. High Alert knows that this dragon is spawning. They sent Oso in the bot lane. He's here, and Ogmush kind of checks the bush with the boomerang blade. Seems like it's going to be a big fight over this dragon, as Malphite does have TP. The High Alert's entire team is on this dragon. It's getting shredded very quickly. The TP comes out. Ryan Base God is looking. I don't know if you can get position as the Bandage Toss goes out, hits one of the puppies, as Less Force secures the dragon, and it's going to be 5 people are still near the man in the middle. Now rooted up with the Mega Infernal Bomb. The Moonfall hits multiple people, but it's not enough damage. As the top of Waldo's taken solo. There's some Sad Mummy hits 3 members. John jumps in, but not enough damage. Less Force flashes in, but it's a 4-man as Oso runs away, gets the public execution, turnaround on Ryan Base God. Ogmush is firing back.
Ogmush is going to carry the fight.
At the bottom, barrier comes out. Frog Guy flashes for the auto attack. Can he get one more? And gets
gonna have it.
One more auto secures it. He walks away limping, but it means the dragon and the team fight go the way of High Alert.
John also wants it though. John just looking for a little bit more, but they gain too much health. He's not gonna be able to find a return kill. Frog Guy and Breadwater are easily gonna take this turret. That's going to be a fight that ultimately ends up in the favor of High Alert, but an extremely close one just because of how close the gold is on both teams. I will say, as much as that fight did end up in High Alert's favor, LeBlanc picked up 3 kills in that fight.
Yeah, that's huge. It's kind of concerning now seeing this LeBlanc kind of very ahead, but I think the assists that Redwater got have evened up the gold a little bit, but this LeBlanc is terrifying if you're one of these mobile carries. As a beautiful 3-man unstoppable force came out from the 4-man. I think it hit every single person except for Less Force. So the fights are just by kind of razor thin margins these teams are winning.
Yeah, for sure, and it's absolutely worth noting that, like, as much as the gold lead matters, which is 1K in High Alert's favor, although it's not super significant right now, gold distribution may be more important. And these kills, if they keep going on LeBlanc, she's going to get really out of hand really quickly. That being said, for now, everything's fine. Nothing is crazy. Nothing is extreme for either team. Both teams are very much in this game, but I would even go so far as to say that this game is even.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the extra dragon and the gold distribution on the more important target of the LeBlanc is kind of a big deal here. Looking at the items, I think everybody's approaching their second item, and the Sivir is actually going for the Navori Flicker Blades, and the Frog Guy's Misfortune is going for the IE, so I think it's going to be a pretty big disparity between the item powered once they hit 2 items. So we're going to have to see how that next team fight plays out.
Madman happening upon Oso in a bush right there, just getting a little bit of damage, making sure that she can't reasonably recall. And honestly, like this top lane is for sure like a go fight at this point. Like Malphite doesn't do damage and Oso cannot do damage, so they will continue trying to catch each other's waves. However, Tyke is trying to disrupt that just a little bit. I do legitimately wonder what he is doing there though, because showing two people bot lane, especially when they know that only one of them has TP, does seem like a very, very iffy decision. Or Whaleriders capitalized.
Going down pretty quickly. I think they sussed it out though. Ziggs and Diana are here to match, and Redwater gets some poke onto this team. I don't think he's going for it. He lays down the minefield and he sees, but it's just going to be a free take from Ryan Basecon. Less Force maybe trying to go in for more, but it's just going to be a free Otacon as Oso wastes the TP for nothing.
And that's one of the consequences of passivity, and ultimately, as much as we were talking about Tyke being in the right place for most of the game, that particular spot, he was absolutely in the exact wrong place. As far from the right place as he possibly could be.
Yeah, I don't think High Alert were expecting such a bold play coming out from Forge Whaleriders. That's going to be a permanent buff onto them from the Otacons, the Spirit Blossom, and the Explosion After Death going over to Forge Whaleriders. That might be the little boost that they need to win these team fights as the, they're approaching 2 items on all their carries. The Nefiri already has the Spear of Shojin. So yeah, it might be the 600, 500 gold lead or so is just absolutely nothing compared to the value of the Otacon medal.
Yeah, it is worth noting that that's standing gold, so it's something that Forge Whaleriders can always kind of get back, right? Or actually, no, they can't because they already picked gold. So yeah, game's gonna be even on gold. Permanent buff is ultimately going to be an advantage for Forge Whaleriders, however. I'm not, obviously, it's not enough to say that one team is definitively ahead of the other. But it is important to getting these objectives with Otacon is something you can't really
It's not
Frog Guy's in the wrong place.
Combo on Frog Guy.
In a
He's
terrible
gonna
spot.
explode there. It's going to be a 4v3, but Redwater's here for covering fire. A nice curse from the Sad Mummy into the bomb. Only hits Atomic Wall, though. This Leona is not the target you want to hit. Oso stuck out of position, but he nice prop execution. Gets them out of position. He tries to go for Ogbutt. They're all taken so low, but Atomic Wall, though, dies for the trade steal. A bandage cost keeps Madman away as Less Force is trying to 2v4 this with Ryan Basecon dying. Redwater and Less Force are the 2 AP carries to turn around the fight as John runs away from a bouncing bomb, and wow, the mid-jungle of High Alert just turned around that team fight somehow.
Ultimately making it a 3-3. Less Force is cracked, man. I don't know how he found that angle. Yeah, I don't know how he found that angle. Ultimately evens it up. And again, we end up in a relatively even gold state. They're going to be able to pick up their first dragon of the game. Or sorry, excuse me, their second dragon of the game. Evening up the dragon count again. High Alert is 1,000 gold ahead, but this is like as even as a game could possibly be with 16 kills.
I'm so surprised that they managed to turn that fight around. I thought it was doomed after Frog Guy died without getting any damage out, but Less Force using the Luna Rush to just jump between targets, hit multiple people, and the covering fire from Redwater literally chunked out everybody, and there's barely any magic resist on the side of Forge Whaleriders, so they just all died.
Yeah, and huge, again, just huge plays coming out from Less Force. A lot of damage coming out of Breadwater as well. And Bessa also fighting a lot too.
Yeah, he gets rooted up by the Imperial King as he's hit up by the Solar Flare. Atomic Waldo picks up the kill. Unfortunate KS, but yeah, that's a free pick onto the Mumu. Oh my god, the Unstoppable Force misses. Frog Guy barely spaces it out as the Madman no longer has his ult for this next team fight.
Frog Guy, in back-to-back situations, has gotten caught out for no reason and also dodged a Malphite ulti by hand.
He's got the hands check, baby. No flash needed, but yeah, I mean, it's a kill on the support Amumu, but I mean, would you rather have the Solar Flare and the Unstoppable Force, or would you rather have like an Amumu, right? So it's kind of hard to say, especially since High Alert managed to win like a 2v4 team fight at the end.
Well, I'll level with you. I'm actually fine with it. So one of the reasons why that pick ended up being inconsequential, but also is the same reason why it doesn't really matter what you use for it. There's just nothing to do with the advantage you get from having extra man up there. So it's fine to burn an ulti or burn an ulti or two, because by the time your ultis are back up, there still won't be objectives. So you can afford to do it if you're
Fighting
just
over nothing, like you said. Frog Guy's posturing very aggressively as Punch gets taken low.
Oh, big LeBlanc!
The sigil of distortion and the distortion, sorry. So that's just a one-shot onto the Amumu before he can get anything. They're chasing pretty far. Atomic Waldo wants something. I think Frog Guy's going to try to clear the mid lane wave, as Baron is the only objective that's up. The bullet time goes out, clears the wave instantly. Also the Mega Inferno Bomb.
Back up.
Jump in for the knockup, but they're still under the turret. Can Oso make something happen? A Moonfall hits multiple members. Left Force is just frying them as Oso's in the front line, cutting them to pieces. The last rate hits. He jumps in for more, but he can't get much as the repudiation is not for anything against this LeBlanc. It's like Arcane all over again as LeBlanc just one-shot Mbessa.
Yeah, excellent. I mean, what a play from Less Force underneath the turret, and then diving into the three members again, or, sorry, Mbessa diving into the three members, ultimately suiciding, evening up the fight yet again. They're going to take some standing gold, which is going to make the gold somehow more even. Neither team is going to be able to complete an objective off that as Baron spawns, and it looks like both teams are probably just going to look towards the next dragon in about 2 minutes or so as they continue to go to their waves, push out, farm up. But it is worth noting we're getting to the point where LeBlanc is starting to get reasonably far ahead. If she can find an item completion breakpoint sometime soon, that's going to be a really good spot for Voyage Whale Riders to fight. Conversely, on the other side, if the Misfortune can hit her third item, it will be the first fight where she can reasonably do damage to the Malphite, who has been stacking tank items this entire time and does have 2.5 arm fragments.
Yeah, it's pretty significant seeing that. Oh, Taich actually finds John. John uses the distortion. There's one more bandage toss. He uses it, the Mimic, I think, to get out. So yeah, it's going to be almost 3 items for Frog Guy. He's probably going to hit that breakpoint faster than Ogmush for sure. One thing I wanted to mention from that last team fight is Taich did nothing, and High Alert almost still won of that, right? And I think Redwater had a very kind of panic ulti to clear out the wave. It hit literally nothing since the bullet time cleared the wave. Imagine if you have even the Amumu setting up a single ulti, it means High Alert could probably run away with the team fight.
So I hear you, but I think at the same time, diving that turret is kind of just like not a good decision at this point, especially considering that the person who initially tanked the turret damage was not Malphite, it was the Fury. And so that made the game state, the state of the fight significantly worse than it should have been for Forged Whale Riders.
Yeah, that's totally fair.
And diving Diana is just like...
Yeah, diving a full man into Diana, I think he got like a 3 or 4 man
it's like a 3-man ulti underneath their turret.
That was big. We're seeing the last item completion coming out from John's LeBlanc. It's actually going to be the Banshee's Veil, excuse me, instead of the big damage. So he's going a little bit more safety in opposed to getting more damage.
But Banshee's Veil is still a pretty reasonable spike here because LeBlanc does want to kind of avoid the first spell that's going to touch her. And it looks like they're going to try and find something on the Less Force here, but there's just too many here. Tyke is way too frightening.
Onto Atomic Waldo.
Atomic Waldo is going to be a little bit caught.
Out. The Lunar Rush catches him, and the second badge toss gets... Oh, not the kill, actually. Oh, the burn from the Leandres pays off. Frog Guy taking solo from the chunk.
Fight on the backside.
Ultied on by the Malphite, but look at the backside of this fight. Diana is running through the enemy team. Public Execution hits onto Ogmush. Ogmush has to flash away as Taich, Redwater, Less Force are chasing down Ryan Base God. It's going to be a 2-for-1, but it is the mid laner and the support down. Taich actually still going for Ryan Base God at a 6th level disadvantage. Oso's here. Somehow he's only level 14, but he's going for the dog anyway. I don't know if he wins this.
How is Ryan Base God level 16?
Yeah, that is insane. He's the highest level in the game alongside the rest of alongside his top laner. So yeah, somehow just had a great game so far. But Less Force secured the 3rd Hextech Dragon from that fight. So it's going to be sole point for High Alert on the next dragon, securing ideally, they're going to secure for sure the Hextech Soul if they get the next one. And that's a lot of ability haste and attack speed.
Oh yeah, for sure. Soul is definitely one of the is a game-winning soul in this particular game. As good as Ocean Soul was in the last series, and as good as Cloud Soul is in general, the Hextech Soul is definitely the one that has the most tactile impact. When you have Hextech Soul, you feel Hextech Soul. You are doing a lot of damage, especially when you're playing like in a Mumu or when you're playing like a poke character. Just the amount of damage you get from landing a single skill is like way outside where quote unquote should be.
true damage, and it applies to every ability, right? Like a single Ziggs bomb hits you, and it spreads the slow onto your whole team. That sets up, you know, the follow-up Diana ulti that sets up the follow-up from the Misfortune bullet time. This Frog Guy's posturing very aggressive again. Gets hit with the knock. He's gonna one-shot him. Madman gets the solo kill. Sorry, the combined kill, but now less defensive. Get out of here. Lunar dash out. Multiple members are hit. A 5-man curse for the Sad Mummy is left.
John hits a huge chain.
Runner doing so much damage. The TV finally comes to the Everyone is dying as Ryan Basegon is still here. Aqua, you know, doesn't get hit with the public execution as Ryan Basegon takes it, as it does just Redwater and John, and they're going to finish off the Zig, so it's going to be just 2 people standing as 8 members die on both sides, and I think Ryan Basegon wants to go for the Baron.
And right there, we're really seeing the power of the LeBlanc. Like, she is so huge right here. And Ryan Basegod's damage surprisingly high because of the spear, so it's allowing to kind of spam abilities, at least on the Baron. But really, John carrying that fight just with 3 huge QW combos, a an amazingly mechanically precise chain onto the Diana when she hit the ulti, and a W out, but still staying in range to maintain the tether, rooted the Diana in place. Out of
the bullet time actually hits 1 member, but Ryan Basegon secures it. So Frog Guy went for it, but now Taich is in position. He missed. Oh, actually, a nice pounce. Call of the Pack dodges the bandage toss, and like you said, yeah, the LeBlanc and Nefiri secure the Baron.
Yep, LeBlanc ultimately just being there in order to get like those multiple people are here Baron debuffs. And then the TP replacing her immediately afterwards is enough for them to get the Baron. Bullet time is something scary to stand in, but Nefiri is pretty thick. And also, you're always going to outsmite bullet time if you know what you're doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I would have missed it.
Yeah, so good timing from Ryan Basegon. So it's the 3 Hextech Dragons against the Baron buff. So the next Dragon's up in 2 minutes. I think, again, this game is on the razor's edge, as I think any member could win the team fight. I think Frog Guy has to be more careful about positioning so far up. He didn't have Flash in the last team fight, and he just ate the unstoppable force just to the face.
I don't think either team, I don't think High Alert understands how much damage Ryan Basegon is capable of doing right now. I think so far they have gotten a little bit lucky in that they haven't really had to deal with him. But he is level 18 or level 17 for some reason, and he is going to be able to do a lot of work if he catches somebody. Now, these team fights aren't exactly conducive to Nefiri because they're bunched up, and Nefiri's not like a bunch-up character. But if he finds an ISO against Frog Guy, or against Breadwinter, or frankly at this point even Mbessa, he is one-tapping the hell out of him.
Yeah. Everyone dies in 1 shot as he's almost completed. Sorry, John is almost completed the Rabadon, and it's a 3.5 item Nefiri, right? He has.
Oh, John for sure one-shots. John is one-shotting. It's not even close. Like.
Oh, there you go. That's the Rabadon's completed as they're going to posture over this next dragon. It is going to be Dragon Soul if High Alert get this, but for Forge Whale Riders, I think they're going to just try to use the remaining bit of their Baron buff to secure it. It doesn't look like anyone from High Alert has the posture to go for it, so I'm not sure if they're going to fight. I don't know if they want to walk in without vision.
This will be the most relative damage John does the entire game. He can one-shot anybody on the enemy team right now with QRW. That being said, he has to do it in a place where he won't get CC'd, and that's the hard ask, right? Like, that's the part that makes it difficult.
Yeah, we were seeing them. Both teams are contesting midway.
Oh, this is an engage. This is an engage from Madman.
Punked out half health already just from a single sigil. The Madman goes in, but it's flashed out from Frog Guy. He has to flash out from his own engage. Taich is taking so low. The Dogs is going to kill him. Oh, Taich is oh my god, he just barely died from that, from the bleed of the Darkened Daggers. And that means
Hextech is up.
Dead.
High Alert can afford to give this, and I think they will. But they're not happy about it. Oh, so that LeBlanc
out of that. He just barely escaped the full combo of John. You know, like I said, LeBlanc is cosplaying Arcane, just being able to one-shot Mbessa in these fights. High Alert's just gonna go for the top lane turret, kind of get some standing gold back. It is a lot of gold since it's the tier 2. But
LeBlanc realizing that there's 3 very killable characters here with very inconsistent CC, though, probably looking for a pick onto one of them if they can maintain vision. But right now, they can't see them. Atomic Waldo is going to find them.
Okay, Atomic Waldo is still chasing by himself. He gets poked down quite a bit. The Make It Rain keeps him away. So a nice covering fire from the team of High Alert to get themselves to safety. So it is a Dragon traded for that top tier 2. A nice, I guess, like play since they didn't get punished for that. But yeah, now it's the Doomsday Clock for sure, as both teams are now on soul point.
And honestly, as scary as this LeBlanc is, she's only going to get, relatively speaking, weaker and weaker as this game goes on, because she doesn't have any more Fuse AP items to buy, unless she decides to go with a, thinking. There's one more item.
Ron jumps in. He gets the full combo.
Oh my God.
One shots in. Tyke gets jumped on by the 100%.
Tyke is jumped on.
That mummy. It hits onto Sivir. The Sivir just gets blown up instantly. Ryan Basecon is in the mix now. John is trying to lay down the chains as the Madman
on the side. He's looking for the
He has the flank. Redwater's here. Can he do enough damage? He's doing a nice double knockup. John just one-shots the Ziggs, and Oso has to flash out less force.
Ryan Basecon cleans up.
Team. Oso misses the public execution because all of the pack from Ryan Basecon. Can this be enough for the team of Forge Whale Riders to end the game? We'll have to see if Less Force can defend this by himself.
No, this is absolutely enough. They do a ton of damage to these turrets, even though, like, they don't have a DPS on their side, because turrets just take damage. Like, they're cleaning this up. This game is over. I don't think that Less Force can do this by himself. It is possible with the Amumu coming out.
Yeah, maybe Amumu's back up. He's running to save his boy. Less Force is still in the mix. Less Force is still alive. The Madman taking a lot of damage. No way. They managed to protect their base. It's not even one Nexus turret that falls, so they're still in this for now. High Alert surviving by the skin of their teeth. Very
impressive stuff from Less Force, recognizing exactly how to space out to survive. And ultimately, that spacing saving the game. Like, let's be honest, right? Really, really important in that fight there that he was alive just to sit under the turrets.
Absolutely was a game-saving play, and now both teams are going to posture around this Baron. I think Forge Whale Riders have been playing the pick game so well, but can they win in a straight 5v5? John has to find the angle.
Yeah, absolutely. LeBlanc's mobility is really nice here because it gives you the ability to face check without really face checking a lot of the time, just like we saw there. They're going to be able to clear a lot of these wards. They actually don't see the one on Baron until just now.
Okay, we see Dreadwater running back from the base. He has his 4th completed item, being the Shadow Flame. Oso gets rooted up by the chains. He gets rooted. John taking some damage back from Frog Guy's double up. So a bit of a chunk taken from both members, but Oso has a way to heal, and he has the TP. John does not.
Although we can't see it, this is really, really scary for High Alert because they have zero vision past this Amumu. They have no idea where Forge Whale Riders are right now. Like, they cannot see them.
Yeah, we're going to have to see a ton of scouting bombs. Height, is he going to face check into John again? John gets the chain, it's the root, but the Celestial opposition keeps him alive. As we see stunned up, John jumps in for another distortion. A nice, huge Christmas set.
Nice.
Ryan Basecon is on the flank. Frog Guy just gets jumped on, gets blown up by the distortion as it's another call of the pack into the pursuit. Oso is the only one here with Less Force. It's going to be a 2v4. Can they survive this? They jump on a Madman. I don't think they have enough damage for this. Or maybe they do. No, it's just going to be John and the Sivir of Ogmus running it into the base. Public execution goes on the Madman. Oso's just trying to take them down right here, right now. But he can't catch up as Ryan Basecon is playing interference. Oso, a valiant effort, but it's not enough as the Sivir is going to run into the base with John's LeBlanc, ending our first ever
Less
week.
Force.
A beautiful end from Forge Whale Riders, knowing their pick comp gets them into the next round of playoffs at 2-1. So congrats to them, and I'm so sorry for High Alert.
Excellent game coming out from Forge Whale Riders. They're really, like, honestly playing such a slow game where they just take every advantage one at a time. Just slowly twisting that knife, right? Because, like, up until maybe 5 minutes ago, there was no point in the game where they looked like they were that far ahead, and